Ahmed Suale is dead.
Right.
It's an albatross around your neck because of what you said publicly on TV.
What did I say?
Oh, you said that if they see him, they should beat him. I have a quotation.
Yes.
And because NDC has said that in 2024, all they need is a DJ to be playing back sound bites of MPP people. They don't have to say anything. And also
I can defend everything. And MPP, I will also play if I win as a presidential candidate. I'll bring all their corruption.
Okay. So this is what you said about Ahmed. You showed his video and said, this Ahmed, you all know he lives in Medina. When you see him, beat him.
You see, I have a problem with you journalists.
Okay.
And you are going to burn this country.
You said this on your Net 2 TV.
Hold on.
That's where I took it from.
You see, I've said this several times. Let me tell you what transpired. I showed the video of Ahmed Suale. And when they saw it, my workers came to me and said, Honorable, don't you know this guy? You even gave him 1,500 to go and pay his school fees, which I always do for people, so I don't even remember. Then I said to them, then you have to be careful. If this guy comes here, beat him up, because he's going to set this company up.
What a good thing to say.
Yes.
Like physical, beat him.
Yes. Not that
you don't regret that comment now.
No, not that I want to be president, and therefore I will come and tell you I didn't say that. No, I said if he comes to my premises, I didn't say go and beat him outside. No, I said they said, oh, he has been coming here. I said no, based on the evidence I had. You know, Ahmed Suale's problem. May he so rest in peace. He made a lot of mistakes. You know why? All the investigations Anas did, Anas never showed up with his face. Ahmed Suale showed his face. So all the people that he embarrassed in this country, Anas embarrassed in this country, it was Ahmed Suale who set them up. Ahmed Suale was the one who set the finance minister and those finance people up with some renowned lawyer. They never saw Anas's face. So if I say that this is the guy, and let me tell you the truth today, this cannot be an albatross on me. Let me tell you something. When I showed the face of Ahmed Suale, the finance minister was on his way to Dubai to meet them. So the Minister of State, yes, Minister of State, Edubuahin, called him and said, Esh, I have seen this on Net 2. This is entrapment. He actually met them and he snubbed them. He snubbed them. They didn't know it was Anas until I showed the face and connected Ahmed Suale to Anas. So how on earth would you say that I say if he comes to my premises, beat him up because he's going to set us up? And look, Kwesi Nyantakyi, look at the way he was rising in this country. And it was not Anas. It was Ahmed Suale who destroyed Kwesi Nyantakyi. Because Anas, he never met him until Kwesi Nyantakyi, he went to Dubai with the Liberian president, thinking they would get money because of the way Ahmed Suale was talking. He disappointed them. So when Kwesi Nyantakyi came back to Ghana, he threatened to sue Ahmed Suale. That is when Anas owned up that, oh, he's sorry, he was the one who did this and that. And they went there the second time, and he disgraced them.
Let's move away from corruption. Let's talk about the economy. It was a big deal. NPP said to us that you had the men. You've been in power for 6 years. You have said your money that you had has been devalued under your own government. These are top economies, and I remember Dr. Bawumia mentioning the list of men that you have who have economic background. All these guys are around the table and things have gone south. You are not an economist. What can you do differently, or what would you do differently?
I would do things differently because I'm pragmatic. I believe in physical things, things that I've seen that can develop this country. I'm not a theorist. Most of them are theorists. They propound theories, and it never works. If there is a change in the world economy, then they begin to have problems. I'll give you an example how I'm going to change this economy. I mean, from your name, I can tell that you are from the north. Look, the 5 northern regions, the arable lands that we have there, Volta region, Afram Plains and Accra Plains. When we go into agro-processing with mechanized farming, my brother, we'll be able to change the fortunes of this country. For instance, about 2 weeks ago, African leaders went to Russian summit and embarrassed themselves by asking Russia for grains. With all these arable lands we have in Africa, our leaders cannot go into mechanized farming, processing, and we are always begging for food.
But we said planting for food and jobs. So what went wrong with that?
Let me tell you something. Planting for food. One day, I met a group of agriculturists and all those things, and I gave them example. Why I'm saying I'm pragmatic. I gave them example that when you are going to Tema, you cross the toll booth, look on your right. I will say illegal because the land doesn't belong to them. But they are using Ghana water. They piped it and small irrigation.
To grow lettuce.
Yeah, go and see the yield over there.
It's beautiful.
Good. So why can't we irrigate most of our lands? And that day I was so disappointed. The answer was that irrigation is too expensive. I said, oh, gee. And you see, you talk of irrigation being too expensive in terms of short run, but long run, it is cheaper. Because when you go to South Africa, they grow maize 365 days. If you want corn, you will get it. But here it's seasonal. Because they irrigate the lands. At least these Ashama guys, when you are coming from Tema to Accra, when you go past Ashama, Committee 24 on your right, maize up to now, you see it. Because they use that small dirty river or gutter over there.
And we can replicate this in the country.
That is the example I gave them. And they didn't accept it.
But the people who are in charge of our agriculture sector, and I'm referring to the civil servant, will be the same people in the Kennedy Japan government.
Kennedy Japan will fire you. Discipline in this country. Let me give you one example. Why, if you make a mistake, we have to fire you. One, I have a problem with people who think they have served for so many years, unproductive hours, unproductive days, unproductive years, and they think they need promotion. They are due. They have to. I am going to base promotion in this country on performance.
It's good you talk about firing. President Akufo-Addo has been accused of being lenient too much to his appointees. Okay, land, please.
I wanted to land. So, because of, I'll give you one example. Why I have decided to contest as a presidential candidate or flag bearer is that as far back as Honorable Kwashige's time, I did experiment on 2 products. One, yam. I took yam to Holland, a company called Grasso. They did experiment, and we can store yam for 8 months. Fish. I also educated them that fish, June, July, August, we throw fish back into the sea. We need blast freeze machines before the coast or along the coast, so that we can blast freeze the catch at minus 41 degrees for 24 hours. Then you move it from the blast freeze room to the coastal minus 10-12%, and it meets international standard that we can export. My brother, they didn't listen to me. So the technical guys, if I tell you, first of all, I will expose them to the way they do things in terms of agriculture. Exposing them meaning will give them opportunity to go and train elsewhere. I believe in India and China.
You are looking east, you don't look west.
No, I will use Asia Miracle to develop this country. So when we have gone round, my first 100 days, apart from conscientizing Ghanaians or changing the mindset, everybody, anybody that I will appoint as a minister, I'm going to use Plato's ideal world. Put them in a room, bring experts to educate them and show them the way to do things differently from what we are doing. So when you are given all these opportunity and you still go back to what you are used to and it's not productive, I'm afraid we have to let you go.
If you were President Akufo-Addo today, who would you fire in his government?
I don't know.
You don't want to pass a judgment on any of them.
No, yeah, because sometimes it's allegations, and I wouldn't say this man or this that, because I've been accused of saying so many things
that you don't
which,
you don't want to hang people.
No, yeah, which I did not know, which I did not even say.
Yeah.
And the headlines
I've misled you.
Yeah.
There's another headline I'm going to quote, but that will be after this break.
No.
Kennedy Epon has said that forget 2024 if you go to IMF. NPP is at IMF now. Should we forget 2024? You're welcome back. This is Face to Face on City TV. My name is Omaru Sandama. Dr. Baumia says it is possible. Alan Kojo Tremantin says Edrunisu. Kennedy Epon says it's Ken's hour. There are 10 of you on the field. Why do you think you should emerge victorious?
I thought you said we were going to IMF first.
Oh, IMF is at the end, because whoever comes out, IMF is going to be an albatross around your neck. So,
yeah, you know, I will be different, and I have an advantage over the rest, because everybody says leadership by example. The situation we are in now, the unemployment rate is so high in this country that I feel we have to create job opportunities for the youth. That is the only way we can move this country. Again, I believe in one thing. This is just a dumping LA middle school economics.
Not some big one from anywhere.
No, this big English and
just a roadside economics.
Yes, simple. My policy on taxes will be reduce and expand. What I mean by reduce is that taxes in Ghana here are so high, but only few people are paying taxes. A lot of people don't pay tax. And if I say reduce, I use hotels in this country as an example. There are 17 different taxes on a hotel. I was in Dubai last week, and 3 rooms with my family were 6. 3 rooms. It was 1,500 dirhams a day, which means each room was $140 with breakfast. Look, that same room in Ghana here will be about 500. How? So if I decide to go on vacation, these 2 countries where I can get a hotel room with breakfast for $140 and a country, a hotel room with breakfast for $400, which one will you choose?
The cheaper one, of course.
Case closed. So for us to build tourism in this country, all these things will come to play. So why I'm different from all the candidates?
Before you go to that, Professor Mills was a taxman or a revenue authority guy before he became president. They've talked so many times about widening the tax net, and it did not end anywhere. This government has said you're going to move from taxation to production. Nothing has happened. You are sure that you, who is not educated in taxing, can be the guy who fixes that problem?
See, I keep telling you theory. I'm a pragmatic person. I have experience more than, with all due respect to Professor Mills, because he's bookish. I'm sorry to use that word. Kennedy Epon, I'm a politician and a businessman. Let me show you the difference between me and Mills, who was a taxer. I am fortunate to employ educated people, uneducated people, and the artisans. And I can tell you, artisans make more money than some of the educated people. I'll give you one example. A mason at my construction site in Tema makes 150 Ghana cedis a day. In 26 days, he makes almost 4,000 cedis. Graduates at Oman FM and Ken City, just as you said, that we don't pay journalists well, make between 2,007, 3,000, and they pay tax. The mason who makes 4,000 cedis doesn't pay tax. A contractor, he says I shouldn't use him. He came to beg my wife, saying that, oh, My boss is always mentioning me. I've not mentioned his name, but he feels guilty. You see, there should be a system where I'll be able to check that the guy that I'm paying this amount also pays tax. I always argue with him. I want to deduct tax from him, but there's no means because he's not registered.
So the means that has been produced is a digitalization agenda championed and led by Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. Many people in your government hold the view that he is the guy who laid that foundation for the digital economy. Let him be there. Why do you want to contest him and other people who are in the race?
I wanted to finish my explanation.
Go ahead.
You see, I'm talking about taxes, the reduce and expand. If we don't do respect, you let me finish.
Please go ahead.
A contractor charges me $11.8 million for foundations to fix my steel plant machines. His labor charge out of the 11.8 was 2.4 million. All these 2.4 million goes to this guy and his workers, no tax, because I don't have a means to take tax from them. So when Kenya Japan is given the opportunity, every artisan, everybody working in this country will have to register and have a license and a PIN number so that we can tax them. Then, when we have widened the net like this, we'll be able to reduce taxes, especially the port. Now port, customs, they are all suffering because a lot of traders or importers have stopped because of high tariffs. And they are high because it's direct tax. They are able to assess that more than this indirect tax where you have to go through so many channels before you get it. That is where Vice President digitization will come in. So we have to lay the foundation first. Digitization doesn't mean you should go and have a license. You should have the license first before you digitize the person. You have to get a social security number or a PIN number or tax ID before you digitize it.
Okay.
So we have to lay the foundation. Conscientization of Ghanaians that everybody, no matter how small your money is, you have to pay a little. When you go to Cote d'Ivoire, shoe shine, the guys doing the shoe shine, they even pay tax, but they give them flat rate. See, it's so sad that only 600 large companies in the whole country that are paying light taxes. And I'll give you one example. Why I'm different from other candidates is that I'm well versed in business. I can give you a number of examples. Just recently, I was fighting with Ghana Revenue Authority because my co-store, I have registered VAT for VAT. And because of the VAT, my fish is more expensive than the Lebanese next door to me, who has not registered to pay VAT. And you see a fleet of trucks, although his co-store is smaller than mine will be about 10 times or 14 times than his. But the volumes count. So if you look at the size of the co-store and say you are not going to pay VAT, you are doing a disservice to this nation. Okay. The VAT should be based on volumes. Whatever he sells, he pays VAT on it.
Honorable, the 10 of you who are contesting, anyone who emerges the winner would have to sell the NPP's campaign in election 2024. I want you to speak to NPP delegates who are disgruntled, and I'm referring to the base of the party, disgruntled about the state of affairs, not even NDC and other people. What would you say to them, considering that the things you said you will not do, you will not go to IMF, you have gone? What are you going to say to them to motivate your base, first of all, before you even appeal to the nation?
I'm going to tell them that they should give Kenya Japan opportunity to create employment for them. In life, the only thing that will make you survive is when you are working. And look, we have a lot of tourist sites in this country, undeveloped, untapped. That will not take more than 6 months. Tourism. I'll use tourism to boost this economy. First, for example, when President declared the year of return, from October to January 2019 or so, tourism made about $1.4 billion. Call it 3 months. So can you imagine if we have developed the tourist sites, this castle, Osu Castle, I'll move everybody from there and give them different office, a heritage. And I'll develop Osu Castle in such a way that it will attract a lot of tourists, because I'm going to buy ships and put it there. We'll write point of no return. When you go through the tunnel,
you enter the ship.
You enter the ship. In the ship, there'll be live band music, food, restaurant, whatever drinks you want, and you ride from Osu all the way to Winneba and back. The ticket that you buy gives you food and a drink. So during the entertainment, the live band and everything, we have beautiful women dancing, and you get carried away.
You may marry an extra wife.
Well, if you choose to. Now you don't know what I am going to do, so I will not advise you.
You advise polygamy, will you?
Yeah, I will advise you.
Kafra, why?
So by the time you come back, you would have spent more money.
We have to go, but how would you explain the IMF U-turn to your party people?
The IMF, I've given you answer to the IMF based on my principles.
Domesticate.
Tourism, agri and mechanization and agro-processing, IT, which I call technology and engineering. These 4 areas will change Ghana for good, especially tourism and agro-processing.
But you owe Ghanaians an apology?
No.
You don't?
No. About what?
For the promises you made that you have failed to deliver.
Who made that promise?
Me, the MPP, not me, so the Canadian Post.
So I didn't make any promise, because as an individual, I have given a lot of suggestions that they did not take. Like the example I gave you that we have to do irrigation, and they didn't mind it. President Kufuor's time, when I was advising Minister of Agri to, have warehouses that were blowers, can store yam for 8 months, telling them to build blast freeze machines so that our fish that we catch, we can export. They didn't listen to me. So who will blame me for that?
We have to go now, but there is a rumor out there that Afo Kennedy, he's just doing this. Later on, he's going to throw his support again behind somebody, and that he's just doing this to scuttle the race. I want you to look at the camera and say on authority that you're running this race to the end, and that you're not just doing some experiments, because the numbers are looking good for you in terms of the polls.
You see?
Are you in to support someone, or you are going to the end?
My brother, election is expensive. If you know how much I've spent, those who are sitting back there thinking Kennedy Japan is doing it for somebody, I'm afraid they have to change their mind. And again, the policies that I have, none of them going around has been able to tell the delegates in Ghana what they are going to do for the country. So I stand out. Look, 4 days ago, this weekend, Sunday or so, I got 17 lecturers from Legon who said, they came to me, Golden to Moving Peak here, and said that they are all lecturers, but they believe and accept that they are theorists, and they buy into the pragmatism policy that I have been talking about, and therefore they want to be part of it. 17 lecturers. On Sunday, they were here. That alone tells you something. So I'm in for good.
We wish you all the best, and thank you for speaking to us, sir.
You're welcome, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
That's Honorable Kennedy.
I hope I've been able to clear some of the
You have told your story, and that's essentially what we sought to do to let you speak to the issues that have been raised against you. Thank you. We hope to speak to you again. Maybe, what number do you hope to be at the top, in the top 5? I know you want to be in the top 5, but which position? You want number 1, number 2, number 3?
Number 1.
You think you can beat the 2 of them? Alan and Ken?
Why not? Everything is possible.
Alan and Baumia?
Everything is possible.
You're confident you'll be sworn in as president?
Yes.
What will be the first thing you do as president if you're elected in 2025?
Changing the mindset. What I'll do is, and I've started, it's good you came up with this question.
We are signing out. I just wanted one thing you do.
I'll bring all musicians together to let them come up with heroic songs, and we'll organize a concert like We Are the World. R&B, high lives, reggae, gospel, they all come together and play all these songs. Then after that, we'll give it to the media and schools to play for Ghanaians to be patriotic, honest, and disciplined.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. That's the Honorable Kennedy Ejepong. He wants to be flag bearer of the new Patriotic Party. This has been Face to Face. My name is Umaru Sandamado.
Midi Edike Edu. Mina meda K Edu Gas Serving Company ano. Sa open the order to sonam. Sa open the order to pano, meat pie, cake, and shortbread. Restaurant hotel, chowba, and crom moye nuyani bebreno. Moba K Edu Gas Serving ho e so am roundabout. Kumasi asem na make Kumasi ho anso ye wo aboa so to Dasco gas filling station ho. Open bi de do dwuma. Frame 0243 365873. K Edu Gas Serving na Obetuye enso obebre bedamasi pi
Orofo radi nyankopon hira no mani isi ukraye media na odifo roja problem ben na da so amane ben na da so bomode frame me number 0244 488172 0244488172 ema ro vision bible che nye no nam ni moja na anya ye ni wiem atumfo akabruchi ahonhom ahonbone omho ye de nchen no nti na adwuma na sei anu nti na waware na eye basa anu nti na sikasem no aye basa kwantuo no ya show body disappointment promise and fail oda no bi no abeda ye wa honhom bi from incubus ne sakabush frame ne ahwehwe de ekoso abrabum emfa wo pem obra opese o ye adwuma bi frame na me hwehwe mu ma na me nka de wo mu yare bi na da wo so nim de efiri wo bra wo nim de efiri frame 0244488172 onyame nhira no nya okese me hwe wo ko anim frame sesi ania mo mpae na wo obeye nhira e wo Yesu di mu amen.